At 1 o'clock, after the meeting with the sales reps, the sales manager decides he's going to set some new goals and objectives for his sales force over the first quarter of 2011. In order to do this, he first needs to set a goal metric. He does this by navigating down to the goal metrics, and he decides he's going to set a new metric that sets an expectation that the sales reps will close a certain number of leads and qualify them over a given time frame. So what he needs to do is to create a new metric and the metric will be a lead count. This is going to be an account. Now he's going to save the lead goal metric. And he's going to set a new rollout field. Rollout fields help to define the actual criteria for counting up the leads, including the status and state of the lead. So he'll do this by setting the rollout field to an actual integer number. The source record type is going to be a lead. And the source record type state is going to have to be qualified and qualified in order for it to count. We're also going to have to set a date field to estimate or calculate our date against. So in this case, we're going to set it against the created on date from when the record was created. Now we save and close the rollup field. And we're going to go ahead and save and close our goal metric. Now we're going to set the goal for the appropriate sales reps who we want to meet this criteria. Now we create the goal by selecting New Goal. And we can give it a descriptive name. In this case, we're just going to call this Lead Goals for Q2 2011. Goal owner, this is important, needs to be set for the sales rep or the individuals responsible for this specific goal. In this case, it can be set to a specific user or even to an entire team of people to make it simpler for administration from the sales management standpoint. In our case, we'll select user and we'll apply this simply to the administrator. Now we select the goal metric that we created earlier. Which was our lead count for qualified leads. Then we select the date range that we want. And in this case, we're going to go the first quarter of financial year 2011. And we're going to set a target that we're expecting to meet. So in this case, we're expecting for the individuals or team to qualify 50 leads in that time frame. Now that we're done, we select Save and Close. And our goal metric is now in place. We'll be tracking the sales reps through Q1, and the sales manager can report on them at any time to see the progress and whether or not they're keeping up to their expectations on their targets and goals. At 2 o'clock, the sales manager receives a phone call from one of his suppliers informing him that there's been a price reduction. In order to take advantage of this and pass the savings on to his customers, the sales manager decides to create a quick campaign and have his sales force call their customers and inform them of this price discount. In order to do this, he selects all of the accounts in the system And from the Create Related on the ribbon on the toolbar, it selects Quick Campaign for all the records on all pages. The Quick Campaign wizard starts, and the wizard gives some brief descriptions and instructions on how to create the campaign. The sales manager clicks Next, and he gives a descriptive name for the quick campaign. The sales manager then selects the activity type. In this case, he's going to select a phone call because he wants the sales force to make phone calls to inform the customers about the price reduction. He also wants to select assign the activities to the owners of the records that are included in the quick campaign, so that the sales reps responsible for the accounts are the ones making the telephone calls to the customers. Then selects Next and fills in the details of the phone call. He's going to set the priority as high, and he's going to set a due date. The due date will be by the end of the month. He's going to select Next, and he's going to go ahead and create. Now, if he opens any of the accounts, he will notice under the activities that there is a phone call that has been created The sales manager now notes that the phone call activity has been assigned to Nick Edmonds, who is the sales rep responsible for Blue Sky Aviation. He also notes that the due date has been set correctly. Now when Nick Edmonds opens up his Outlook, this activity will be synced into his Outlook calendar, and he'll be notified to make this phone call to the client. At 3 o'clock, the sales manager decides he's going to review any remaining KPIs around his sales activity and see what the performance and health of his company is like. He does this by navigating back to his dashboards, and he switches the dashboard to the sales performance dashboard. In the sales performance dashboard, again, he can review his sales pipeline. He can also start to see the goals and metrics that he's been set up in his organization, and that he's already starting to see some results. He can also review his sales leaderboard, as well as a win-loss ratio of sales that are won versus sales that are lost. He decides he wants to bring this to another sales manager's attention and wants to create a new dashboard in order to keep him informed. In order to do this, he navigates to the dashboard tab on the ribbon. He's going to create a new dashboard. He selects the layout of his dashboard, then proceeds to add the charts and content he wants to build up his dashboard. He does this by clicking on the appropriate option in each one of the panels that's presented. So in this case, he wants to create a chart in this top left-hand corner. So he's going to click on the chart option. And he's going to select the entity to add to the dashboard. In this case, he's going to add the goal. On the right-hand column, it's going to add a list by clicking on the list option. In this case, he's going to add the opportunities that are lost. Bottom left-hand corner, he's going to add another chart. And in this case, he's going to want to add the opportunities. And in this case, he's going to want lost opportunities for his win-loss ratio. Then he's going to remove the bottom right-hand corner because he doesn't want that to display on the chart. Now he's satisfied with his dashboard. He's going to give it a name. And he's going to go ahead and save and close that dashboard. Now here he sees his new dashboard, and he wants to make this available to one of the other sales managers in the organization. So what he'll do is he'll assign this dashboard to that user. In this case, we're going to say that it's Nick Edmonds. So assign to user or team. And we're going to assign that dashboard to Nick Edmonds. Click OK. And now Nick Edmonds is the owner of that dashboard. At 4:30 p.m., the sales manager decides to start the year off right by sending out a gift certificate to all of his clients, offering them discounted rates and product promotions. He does this by looking up his contacts in Microsoft CRM, then he selects Create Related, and he's going to create a related mail merge. He could send it out to a letter and print it off, but he's going to send it as an email instead. He's now going to select the organizational mail merge template, and he's going to select the Reconnect with Contacts gift certificate mail merge template that he's prepared. He's going to send it to all records on all pages to ensure that everybody in his criteria receives this gift certificate. He clicks OK. And the mail merge process is launched. He's presented with a list that shows the contacts that are going to receive this gift certificate, and he selects OK. And he selects Next to move through his mail merge template. He also chooses to preview the results to make sure that the data looks correct, including the certificate that's going to go along with the email message. Selects Next, clicks on the electronic mail, types a subject line, and clicks OK. Now the sales manager can choose whether he wants to save this certificate as an activity within Microsoft CRM. And in our case, we're going to choose to not create an activity because we'll have a record with the email anyhow. And we're going to go ahead and click OK to send the message out. And we can see the message is sent to all of the clients. And now that the mail merge process is finished processing, we can navigate back to our Outlook sent items, and we can note that the mail merge recipients have all been sent out, and we have a record of the email, including the gift certificate.